Εξομολογήστε το Κύριο διαγατός αλληλούια, ότι στον αιώνα το έλεος αυτού αλληλούια.
Now's your chance, bro, if you want to come and debate. Come here and debate.
Come and debate.
Come and debate.
I'm looking forward to this, mate. Big man.
Come and debate, heckler.
Okay, my question is,
I know him.
why do you think liberalism has failed?
Right.
No. You got one on the
I'm a little bit, drunk.
So,
Nothing unusual. Listen to what Bob was just saying.
so guys, this shows you how little attention he just paid. Because his first question was, why do I think liberal secularism has failed? Exactly. So I just want to point out to you the arrogance of the liberal who was heckling me. He didn't even pay attention to the entire talk. He just came to heckle. But for his sake, I'll remind you why liberal secularism is failing. Liberal secularism is failing because we are having a demographic collapse in the West. Liberal secularism is failing because we've got two-tier policing in the West. Liberal secularism is failing because Islamists who are pushing a vile ideology into our society are going unchallenged by the liberal secular state. Liberal secularism is failing because multiculturalism is failing. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the reasons why liberal secularism is failing.
Oh, now it's my turn. So haven't we already got a movement in our democratic society that is pushing against this two-tier policing? Because you know of that phrase.
I'm just cutting in. My apologies to you, Bob. I don't do it, as you know.
No, apologise to me, you mean?
I've just had
apologise to me.
Yeah, for those
you interrupted me.
I've just had a
Sorry, Bob. Not to him.
There is a protest
he gets enough airtime,
Downing Street at 4 p.m. in support of Tommy Robinson. So there's a protest outside of.
So there's a protest, ladies and gentlemen, at 4 p.m. outside of Downing Street in support of Tommy Robinson. Go on.
Okay, as I was saying, liberalism gives us the right to protest, to talk amongst each other, to push back against cultural forces in our society that we don't like. And this is happening, isn't it? We've got movements that are trying to fight back against two-tier policing. That's how it's fighting back, because we're allowed to have this speech.
Right. So his argument is
the democratic process goes on.
Liberalism and the liberal democratic system allows us to fight back against Islamization. Yeah. And I agree. I am not saying that the democratic process doesn't allow us to push back against Islamization, but liberalism discourages it. And here's why. Because liberalism says that the state is neutral, that the state doesn't have metaphysical values, metaphysical beliefs, and that all citizens are free to pursue within the democratic system their own way of life in a multicultural society. And that is exactly the thing that allows Islamization. Whereas a Christendom, whilst allowing Muslims to live amongst them, would not tolerate Sharia courts, would not tolerate the Adhan being blasted in megaphones into people's homes, would not tolerate the brutal halal slaughter of animals. Christendom would not tolerate Islamization, but liberalism does. And that's why liberal secularism is failing, whereas Christianity does not.
I think actually a liberal democracy does need a backstop, In the American Constitution, it starts with, we find these inalienable rights like fundamental. And so you do need like a fundamental thing. It cannot be neutral on every single issue, because it can't just be neutral on like racism or sexism or like fundamental values, But we are trying to establish human rights. Our backstop is human rights, fundamental human rights. We don't believe God has given them to us. We just think each person inherits human rights, and the state should stand up for them human rights. And then that can give us like standing up for freedom and restrictions on people who try to take other people's freedom this way. That is what a liberal state is, and it's a damn good moral framework for allowing people to exist, but to not crossing over fundamental things. We have like a justice system that is trying to uphold justice. We're doing all right, mate. We're doing all right.
Okay, apparently we're doing okay. We kill hundreds of thousands of our children in abortion. We end up with a high divorce rate, destroying families and lives. We have broken families. We have substance abuse going through the roof. But apparently we're doing okay. We have Islamists storming police stations in East London, threatening police officers in Manchester, both without arrests, both without police action. We have Palestinian supporters marching through our street, calling for genocide in the Middle East. But apparently we're doing okay. I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't finished yet. I didn't interrupt you. Don't interrupt me. I want to point out to you, ladies and gentlemen, that if that is his bar of doing okay, then his bar is too low. And I, as a Christian, want to offer a better bar. This is what an okay society looks like. An okay society looks like stable families that are wholesome, where drug abuse and substance abuse are driven into single-digit numbers, where, ladies and gentlemen, Muslim thugs can't just run riot in our streets and get away with whatever they want, where people are policed equally under the law, and where we can't guess the outcome of a court judgment before the trial's even finished, because we know our court system has been utterly politicized. What a healthy culture looks like is a society that lifts up Jesus. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because you have two gods that are being offered to you. The liberal, who is interrupting me but will complain if I interrupt him. The liberal who is interrupting me, but he complains when I interrupt him. He has offered you the God of humanity. The God of humanity. That God of humanity is a subjective God. It takes the shape of whatever the majority of people want it to look like. So if the majority of people are Muslim, then their God of humanity starts to look a lot like Sharia law. And suddenly, we don't have equal rights under the law.
You don't want to hear from me.
Yeah, no, they walk off. There you go, bye-bye. He's running away.
You took all my time.
No, you did. We never agreed any time. We never agreed any time. You interrupted me. You made points. You made points. I am replying to your points. If you want to organise the debate, we can time it.
No,
there you go. No, he's complaining. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Make my point, which will take 30 seconds.
Who wants me to finish my point? There you go. Most people want me to finish my point. Thank you. So, are you a Democrat? Because the people have voted, so listen to their voice. Now we'll see if he's a Democrat.
How long are you going to take? How long are you going to take?
The people have voted, I can finish my point. So, ladies and gentlemen, the problem with the religion of humanity is that you end up with this. You end up with this. Humanity is just what I want it to look like. But the idea of humanity is a borrowed idea from Christianity. Humanity only has dignity if you believe that there is a God that has given humanity dignity. Ignore him. Don't feed the trolls. Don't feed the trolls. Just block him off. Just block him off. The idea of the value of humanity is rerouted in the idea of God, and that God has given us dignity. Without God, we're just animals. And if we're just animals, notice he's going away now.
You're shouting in my ear.
Notice notice he's sulking. Not a Democrat, not a Democrat. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, the reality is we can only pin down our common values if we have a common metaphysics, ladies and gentlemen.